To lead the Skol chant and sound the Gjallarhorn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol show in week 10 of the offseason. I'm Fish, and as always, I've got Mr. Positivity Cody Bowden, who greets with smoked Skolful Shack. Our Captain Keith, he's not going to be joining us tonight. He's got some family stuff he's got to do, including tomorrow being the birthday of his lovely wife. Happy birthday, Mrs. Hanson.
Happy birthday to you.
So tonight, free agency's kicked off, and we have some things to talk about. We got us a brand new quarterback. We're going to dive into that in a second. We got some other things that have happened, and some of our free agents have signed elsewhere, and some will be returning. A couple were surprises. The NFL announced 2026 comp picks, and did the Vikings get any? We're going to go around the Gjallarhorn with our takes, and we're going to make our purple prophecy predictions. But before we get into that, fellas, let's break this ice. Who is your all-time free agent veteran quarterback that the Vikings have picked up? Who you got, Cody?
I ain't gonna lie. My favorite quarterback that the Minnesota Vikings picked up as a veteran would have to be Brett Favre. I saw what we were going through as a team before Brett Favre, having Christian Ponder, then Tre'Davious Jackson, rest in peace, and then just shuffling around quarterbacks. When we finally brought Brett Favre in, I thought, hey, this team could be something, could be contenders, could be legit. And that goes to show how very important that the quarterback position is for a team. We go from winning how many games before Brett Favre, that 2009 year? What was it, 7 to winning almost 14 games?
Right.
So like that the quarterback position is so massive, and to bring someone that talented in can totally 180-year franchise.
Well, Shaq, let me throw my answer out. I was saying, you know who really got me excited back in the day, and I don't know if you remember this, Shaq, but I remember when we signed Jim McMahon, and I was excited about that. Old Jim with that attitude. And one thing I really loved about it was when he was playing, he had that dark visor. I always thought it looked cool. So let me throw some Skols out real quick. There's our boy Rinaldi, Lenny, Anthony, Raymond, Bob, Chad. Let's see, Timmy was on here earlier. Skol, everybody. Shaq, who'd you like back in the day?
So I think Cody did a pretty good job talking about Brett Favre. I'm gonna throw out another veteran QB who came here and did his thing. It would have to be Randall Cunningham, because pretty much he was at the tail end of his career, just like Brett Favre, but we basically gave him that one last hurrah to try to win the Super Bowl, go out on top.
Mm-hmm.
And like what he brought to the offense was, he gave us that explosiveness. Chucking the ball deep to Moss and having Chris Carter and just running this offense. He wasn't that same, he didn't have that same mobility he had with the Eagles, but he had just enough to, extend the play so he could throw the ball when the play breaks down. So my number one is Brett Favre because I watched him more, but I'll give Brandon Cunningham a shout out.
Oh, yeah. Chad brought up my favorite football player of all time, Warren Moon.
Yeah. I would have said Warren Moon too, but that was before my time. I can't even lie. Live. I seen him play.
I loved Warren Moon, but anyhow, let's get into it, boys. It happened not just about a couple hours ago. We're not going to bury that lead, so let's talk it. We signed Kyler Murray. We signed him for the league minimum, 1.3. He had a stipulation with a no tag clause in his agreement, so we can't sign him for this 1 year and then tag him after this year to kind of hold him hostage. It's 1 year, and then he's a free agent. How do you feel about this? Has it changed your outlook on the 2026 season?
Yeah, it's changed my outlook on the 2026 season, and it also kind of put me in a positive direction for JJ McCarthy. But for the 2026 season, I'm looking at Kevin O'Connell's past quarterbacks, right? And you're looking at him. You got two pocket passers that were traditional pocket passers, probably in Max Brosmer and Kirk Cousins. If you really look deep into it, a lot of the other quarterbacks were able to escape pressure. They were mobile, right? And going into the 2026 season, what Kevin O'Connell loves to run, he loves to run the play action. And when we do the play action, it's not the traditional play action, drop back, throw football. It's the play action, then they roll out, right? So looking deep dive into some deep analytics on stats, I'm looking at what we did in 2022 to 2023 with Kirk Cousins. He was averaging around 4.9 yards per attempt and it was just a traditional roll. That was when he was rolling out of the pocket. When we moved on from him and got those more mobile quarterbacks, right, we were averaging at a clips of 9.2 yards per attempt. Now, when we add Kyler Murray into this situation, this fold, Kyler Murray's rollout attempts when he's rolling out off the play action is at 10.8 yards per attempt. So looking at the past quarterbacks that KOC likes to yield, does he really like to yield traditional pocket passing quarterbacks, or does he like to yield those rolling out quarterbacks because his plays do take time to develop and he's going to need that quarterback to move away from that pressure? So just looking at those kind of deep analytical stats right there, it gives me a feeling that Kyler Murray could be a really good fit in this system. And if he shows up what he's been doing out of the pocket in those rollouts, I think 2026 is going to be a really good year.
What say you, Shaq?
Yeah, pretty much piggybacking off of what Cody said. People like to say KOC has a certain type of quarterback and he likes to run a certain type of scheme. But he did have a mix of quarterbacks who had a little bit of mobility to them. You look at Jaron Hall. Yeah, he wasn't one of the best quarterback pickups or drafted, but he was a dual threat quarterback who liked to run and throw the ball. He also had Josh Dobbs, who ran and threw the ball. And now we have Kyler Murray. And out of those three quarterbacks, Kyler Murray is clearly the best thrower of those three. And now that we have, we don't have to basically force JJ McCarthy to start. And what makes this better is our quarterback room compared to last year is 100 times better. If, God forbid, Kyler Murray goes down, at least we have JJ McCarthy to put in. And then who knows? He might be even better than how he was last year. Or if JJ McCarthy somehow wins the starting job, we have Kyler Murray as the backup. And if JJ McCarthy gets hurt, we can put Kyler Murray in. There's no reason why Brosman should be touching the field this year unless we already clinched the playoffs and we rested our starters.
And
So overall, it's just a better feeling.
And bringing up the mobile quarterback thing, also, there was a point where Kevin O'Connell liked Anthony Richardson, right? He's very mobile quarterback. So if you look at these list of quarterbacks that stack up against the traditional quarterbacks, it's kind of like, well, who does KOC really like to yield at quarterback? If you look through in his offense, so I feel like it's a good fit, and it's only $1.3 million. If McCarthy shows leaps and bounds in the offseason and wins the job, because it is a business at the end of the day, you're going to throw the best quarterback out there to play or start in this game. And what makes it sense, you don't have any liabilities to Kyler Murray. You signed him for $1.3 million, right? So you can bench him if you need to bench him, because $1.3 million cutting him, that's nothing compared to your cap. So I feel like it makes sense. I feel like 2026 is going to be a great year for us.
Okay, I'm glad you guys have got all that positivity out of the way, because here I come. Right off the cuff, I've got us now at about 6 wins this season. I appreciate you giving the pitch for the mobile quarterbacks, but everything that I've seen from our head coach, being our head coach, has been that he likes to kill the mobility of the quarterback. Saw it with Josh Dobbs, saw it with J.J. McCarthy. As soon as they started running, he stops that. He does not allow them to use their full athleticism to their ability. He might go towards mobile quarter. He might have better success with mobile quarterbacks, but by God, everything in that man's shown us has been he wants somebody to sit back there, make multiple reads, and deliver the ball before they get drilled. This is where I have a problem with McCarthy. I don't have a problem with McCarthy's height. He's playing in the NFL. He's a number 1 draft pick. He's thrown for almost 4,000 yards. I don't have a problem with his height. I have a problem with him in this offense, in this system, this rigid system. I got a problem with him in it. Kirk Cousins gave up the drawers last year. He said it's a difficult system where you have to make a boatload of reads, and you better be able to process quickly. And when y'all find out that Kyler Murray is not able to get past his 3rd read before he has to take off, and that becomes a problem, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Sorry, that's what it's going to be. Kyler Murray was an air raid offense type quarterback in college. He seemed to do better when he was playing a similar style offense in the pros when they brought it to. He ain't ready for this. Now for the next exercise. Cody and I just did a little exercise about last year, how we ran the ball before we got on here. We ran the ball, scripted and unscripted, 46% of our plays. Scripted, 42% of our total offensive plays. And that's with seriously inflated numbers over the last few games of the season. So prior to the last few games of the season, we were down to like 30-something% of our plays were run plays. If we don't change that dramatically, doesn't matter if it's J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray, or anybody, we're going to get killed.
I don't see it. I mean, when we do play action plays after Kirk Cousins, including Sam Darnold, we rolled out of the pocket on play action plays 42-point-some% of the time. So I think it fits, because that's what you're going to have to do with Kyler. You're going to have to do those rollout play action plays, so it opens up lanes for him to throw the ball.
We rolled out 42% of the play action plays, but our amount of play action plays tanked. We were back in the gun. We were not under center hardly any of the time. If we were running a lot of play action, I'd be on board with you, Cody. I really would.
Well, we ran play action 57% of the time in our dropbacks last year.
Shit, I will not believe that.
Compared to what Sam Darnold ran when we had a high octane offense, when Sam Darnold ran it, we were at a 64% clip rate. That was the highest percentage rate that we had for the Minnesota Vikings under Kevin O'Connell.
I don't know if I can buy that stat. I just don't know if I can buy it. We were back in the gun so much. I just cannot. I can't buy that stat. So look, I'm not big on this. I think the only positive really is it's low risk. It's $1.3 million. McCarthy could still beat him out for the job, and it doesn't hurt nothing. you know, but I really, really do not believe he's a good fit for this system. If we were running a little bit more of a flexible system where, you know, a coach maybe adapted a little better, man, I'd be excited. I would be. But I just can't get behind this one, and I'm going to have more to add on to it. But everybody in the chat, how do you feel about Kyler Murray being signed today? You excited? I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer on you, but I'm going to be. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to be. So how do you feel? Do you feel like this resuscitated our season? Do you think this saved KOC jobs? Do you think this doomed KOC's job? How do you feel? OKC Fikes fan says RPO specialist. Get out of the way, KOC. Steve, give us a little bit. We'll open up the line. Sparky says fix the O-line first. Fellas, what do you think needs to be fixed on the O-line?
I don't think.
Center.
Yes, I'm a center, but I'm good with the center. I think the biggest position that I'm worried about is that safety and the defensive tackle. I think you're going to come out there with the same group of guys that you did last year. Everyone say fix the offense, fix the offense. It's if player gets injured, I mean your offensive line is going to struggle. That's just how it's going to be. I mean, what are we talking about? Bringing in 5 new starters to sit behind the starters that we have up there already? To me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I get it. Yeah, put some depth behind it. Maybe add a piece here or there for the guard position or the left tackle. Maybe add a key depth piece into the left tackle since if Garrison ever plays a full season. But offensive line, I'm good with. The one I'm worried about is the safety position and the defensive tackle position. And watching all these free agents fly off the board, and Minnesota hasn't done nothing yet about it to replenish that talent that was there. It kind of worries me.
Okay. Shaq?
Yeah. So we pretty much got rid of our offensive line coach. So even when our offensive line starters, hopefully they don't get hurt, but if they miss a game or two, it won't be that much of a drop off. Hopefully our offensive line coach, our new one, could basically help scheme up a play call with KOC that doesn't get them exposed as much. We could adjust our offense better pretty much.
I think it's impeccable timing for Robbie to join us in the comments as I'm getting ready to answer this question. It's like it was on the tip of my tongue, and then I saw Robbie commented, fellas, is this JJ McCarthy's death sentence?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. We pushed so much money down the line in 2027 and 2028. Our wide receivers fit to make $40+ million in 2027, and then another 40 in 2020. Like it is a ridiculous amount of money we pushed back, even though we were the least. We were the best team with dead cap at like $5 million this year. We pushed a boatload of dead cap in 2027, 2028, and adding this no tag clause kind of hurts us, right? Because I don't think we're going to be able to re-sign Kyler Murray if he goes out there and wins us 14 games, because he's going to want to command 50+, especially if Daniel Jones got 50+ for him and himself out there, right? So that no tag clause worries me if Kyler Murray does win 14 games. I think that will be the reason why McCarthy has a shot heading into 2027 is because Kyler Murray moves on. But other than that, for this year, yeah, I don't think it's really a competition. I think it's Kyler Murray's job.
Shaq, Cody brings up the tag clause. You know, the thing about the tag is if we were to tag him, that's all money that hits the cap right then, right there. Versus, let's say if we decided we re-sign them, we could do some funny things with that money. Are you on board with the tag clause being a negative against us, or what do you think?
So pretty much we can't franchise tag them, correct?
Yeah,
correct.
I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, we have to basically kind of give some leeway. Like meet him in the middle, because he didn't have to sign with us. He could have actually went to go look around and go talk to other teams because he's not really that bad of a quarterback. He's like a quarterback who has proven himself, but he fell short last year. So now he's in a weird spot. So he has to reprove himself. So he knew that his best opportunity would be with us, but he doesn't want to have a good season, then be forced to be franchise tag because we love it. NFL teams love the franchise tag, but you know who hate the franchise tags? The players. They actually wish the NFLPA would get rid of the franchise tag. So we had to meet him in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay if he uses us because we're using him too, you know. We 1.3 million, and if he shocks the hell out of me and does well, then he can use that to catapult himself back. And as long as everybody gets something out of it, that's fine. I just can't wait for next year when everybody's watching him play somewhere else and he throws a touchdown and everybody's like, we let him go. It's Sam Darnold 2.0, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
We signed him this year, 1.3. If he's successful, he's going to catapult that, And
if he catapults it for us, I mean, we're going to kind of look like the Bengals out there paying Addison, paying Jefferson, paying Murray. Like, let's say Murray wins 50 games. That's $94 million with him and Jefferson. Then you got to think about the contract Addison's getting, probably getting 30 plus. That's a 30-year cap right off the rip, right? Yeah. So then you're gonna lose some players, right? Because that's just how the NFL is with the cap. So I wouldn't mind doing it to have that re-sign. We move without the no tag clause, and I can see why people would freak out if he doesn't get re-signed. But we also got to know what the cap looks like next year, and there's a lot of players getting paid.
So I was just thinking about something, this straight off the cuff. The report was that he passed his physical this morning, and then he spent all day in meetings. Without that real headman, that official GM in the GM position, what do you think those meetings were? Was that him and offensive coaches, and basically then Rob B gives a rubber stamp, or how do you think that went down?
Pretty much. I think it was probably Josh McCown. I think Josh McCown's our QB coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think it was Josh McCown, KOC, B-Flow, Wes Phillips, and Rob Brzezinski in that office. And they basically wanted to see where Kyler Murray's head at, and is he really committed to football, or is he going to just slack off and he's just all about himself? So I'm pretty sure they all basically asked him questions about what he's looking for, why do he want to come here, how far do he think he could take us, and then basically they asked him to ask questions back to see like basically where his mind is. Kind of like an interview, like if we go for a job interview, and then your employer asks, "Do you have any questions for us?" That question alone tells them a lot too, to see what questions you ask. So,
Cody, Shaq says he thinks that B-Flow was involved in those meetings. What do you think he would bring to that dynamic?
If B-Flow was involved in that meetings, he was probably kind of frustrated about how long our offense was on the field last year and the amount of work that he had to do with his defense to put the offense back on the field for another short period of time. So I can see where his mind's coming from, right? My thing with Kyler Murray and the staff being involved, I think the Minnesota Vikings knew well before Kyler Murray was released that Kyler Murray was going to be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, because we didn't talk or touch a single quarterback, or none of those free agents that flew off the board. How many went off the board during tampering period, and then right after tampering period? Like, I think the only two left was Kirk and Aaron Rodgers, right? And did we even talk to them? I think it was Kyler Murray right from the rip. Like, they knew Kyler Murray's getting released. That's going to be the guy. We don't need to talk to these other quarterbacks. We're going to sign him.
So Shaq, Cody brings up Kirk, right? And I know he's your favorite. You were looking forward to having him back this year. What do you think this means for Kirk's future in the NFL? I mean, like, where does he have left to go?
Well, it's gonna be fun seeing him talk about Viking plays on the pregame show on ESPN. You know, him talking about how he wasn't on KOC staff and like give a little insight to what we don't know as fans as what the Vikings locker room was. So, like, I'm gonna enjoy every minute of Kirk breaking down his offensive game plan that KOC gave to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much, you know, it's gonna be fun insight for us.
Yeah, it'd be like be almost like having somebody in the huddle, right? So, okay, I'm sure we're going to wrap back around to Kyler again. But let's talk about some of the other moves that we made. With free agency kicking off, we took care of some of our own free agents, like I knew we would. A couple minor ones, you know, Bo Richter and Xavier Scott. We signed them to the the exclusive rights free agent deals. Jalen Redmond, my guy from day one, he signed his. And we're going to talk about him more in a minute because he deserves it. He really does. If there was a shining moment in Vikings, I would say it's him. So my understanding of an exclusive rights free agent deal is very vague. But it's when a player plays in less than 3 accrued seasons and their contract's expired. It's a 1-year deal with a league minimum salary. They can't negotiate, so they're ours for 1 more year. And I guess that just basically gives us like sort of a little bit of an extension period of time to try to work something out with them and try to get a long-term deal if we want it, which I'd be stunned if we didn't want to deal with Redmond. You know, I could imagine us letting Richter and Scott go after this year if they don't start to produce, but what do you guys think?
I think it was a smart deal. I think he's going to get paid. I think he's probably going to get paid before the season even begins. I think he's going to get his little extension. And it was a smart deal to not pay $10 million for a backup quarterback, so you're allowed to do these type of deals with the cap restraint we are on right now. So I love the tender right now. It gives us time to say, hey, we want you here. We're going to work out the numbers. There's just a couple more pieces that we got to move around here. And the first piece dropped. We don't have to pay $10 million for a backup. We got one at 1.3. That domino dropped. I expect 2 more dominoes to drop, and then I expect Jalen Redmond's domino to drop.
Pretty much.
So, Shaq, on the good news, we signed Eric Wilson. I have yet to meet a Vikings fan who didn't want him back.
I think the only negative a Viking fan will probably say is his age, but he played well for his age, so that would be the only negative I can think of.
He is the ageless wonder. We also signed our special teams ace Tavier Thomas back for 2 years and $4.6 million. That seems to be on the other side of the spectrum where everybody's like, I don't know. You know? And also another one that is bringing mixed applause. We brought back Ivan Pace Jr. You know, and what did we sign him for? $3.5 million. Mm-hmm. We can match anything that he offers with another team if we want to. Something, you know, the exact wording. Are you guys as surprised as I am that Pace is back?
No, just because of the cap constraints we were facing before the post June 1st things that we got to utilize. I think it was smart. You already got your starting linebackers out there when you brought Eric Wilson in. Ivan Pace is just it's a cheap depth move, right? All right, you're the depth guy. We know what you can do out there. We've seen it. We've seen the flashes. You're just depth guy.
Yeah, but does this stop us from drafting a potential future impact linebacker, Shaq?
I believe it probably stops us from drafting a depth role play linebacker, but it doesn't stop us from drafting a starter because I think right now Pace is like a role player, and they want to see if he could go back to being that starter. We got him for pretty much good money. He knows the defense, and he was once a starter for us. He had like a down year and lost his job to Eric Wilson. But if
Hell,
we
he
get
had the
back,
green dot for a little bit, Shaq.
yeah, so if we get him back to doing that, then that'd be great for us. Other than that, I feel like if we was to draft a linebacker, it would probably be somebody who could compete with Pace to be a starter in the future, not somebody who's gonna just be a role player. Because I feel like that would be just a waste of a draft pick if we just draft a role player linebacker. I want somebody who could actually start because we won't have Blake Cashman or Eric Wilson for long. I get we signed Eric Wilson to a 3-year deal, but it's most likely a 2-year deal. And within those 2 years, we're gonna have to find somebody, hopefully, to start.
How long we got Cashman in the contract for? Is it through next year, or is next year the end of the guaranteed money, or is this year the end of the guaranteed money?
I honestly have to check that, but I believe next year might be his last year.
Unless we extend them.
Unless we extend him. So
I don't see it.
our linebacker room is okay for now.
I don't see it. That's not a problem to me. So, okay, let's get to the big dog. Jalen Redmond signed his exclusive rights deal, vet minimum, but they do need to give that man the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys think that they should work on that extension now, or wait and see for this year?
For me, since you already have them on the year, no matter what, I would wait during the year. I have a feeling it's going to be before the season when we get back to him, and I think he makes anywhere between the top to 11 to 20 defensive tackles at around $19 million a year. His average annual value. So for me, I'd wait because you have control of him, but you also need to sign him. I can see them signing him super early before the season.
Shaq, let me tee you up with this just for reference. Top 10 defensive tackle AAV is $25 million. 11 through 20 is 18.5. 21 through 25 is 13.7, and 26 to 30 is $11 million a year. Was he a top 10 defensive tackle?
If you look at his stats, or I'm pretty sure even PFF will have it, he was up there with the greatest defensive lineman in pressure rate this year.
Mm-hmm.
He just wasn't a household name unless you're a Viking fan. But if you look at who the names next to him, you be like, how much are they making? And we had that performance at a bargain. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
we got last year. We're going to get this year dirt cheap. So we're going to be paying that man, I think.
And if he redo half of what he did this last year, then he probably going to test free agency and he's going to get paid way more than we probably could afford. So it's probably best to, start talking long term with him, let the season play out, but have a deadline for when you want to sign him, because at a certain point, he's going to be too much for us to pay. So it's like if you talk to any Dallas fans, they hate when Jerry Jones does this. He waits to the last minute to sign their free agents, and then now they gotta throw them the bag because they already proved how much money they're worth. So it's always gonna be cheaper to sign a player now versus 2 years in the future.
You think we're actually gonna be able to re-sign him next year, Shaq?
We could whisper sweet nothings in his ear.
Yeah.
So, 18, 19 million. You don't need 25, 26 million,
Look here, man. 18, 19 is plenty.
you know. So I'm hoping we can. I honestly like Jalen Redmond. Shout out to Keith for calling it. Because I feel like without Jalen Redmond, our defense would took like it wouldn't look the same.
It'd have been hurting last year for certain. So, hey, on the other side of the ball, we've been talking a lot of defense and Kyler Murray, but the Vikings reworked Aaron Jones. It was one of those things where they cut him and then they re-signed him, as sort of a cap-saving move, right? I might have even mentioned that, like when we did it, I might have asked you guys in our group chat, is this one of those deals where we re-sign him to save you money? You guys good with this? Is Aaron Jones worth another run for another year?
I think it's good. It's good only because of what I'm looking at in the draft. You got a running back that's going into the top 10 in Jeremiah Love, and he's going top 10. But after that, you probably got to wait another, 32, 64, probably 64 more draft positions before that second best running back comes out. Right. And to my opinion, if you do that route, but you can't get Jeremiah Love, with this, you don't have to instantly insert that third round running back into the starting role. Right. You can mix him in there. Right. And then mixing him in there takes away from Aaron Jones's amount of reps or carries that he is going to get with the utilization that we like to say with him. So I think it's a smart idea. You got a veteran in the backfield, and you can still draft one of those second or third best running backs that are going in the third round. And you can mix them in as the season go in. And
Shaq, what if by some miracle Love were to fall to us? Does this now stop us from drafting Love?
Hell no. I feel like if we cut Aaron Jones, how much money? How much of a cap hit? I'm sorry. How much
Shaq's
of a cap
cut
hit
Jones, cut Mason.
But honestly, if Love somehow happened to fall to us, we could just have 3 running backs. We could probably even trade Mason for the low or trade Jones. No hard feelings to them, but Love would be cheaper, and he's younger. So it's like they could all compete, but I mean, I don't see them keeping all 3 running backs, but that doesn't stop us from drafting Love because we don't have an elite running back on this roster. We have good running backs. Jones is good, but he's old and he's been injured a lot during the last couple of years. And running back is one of the most physical positions. So it's like he has to get tackled. He's not one of those elusive running backs. He's one that, he breaks a couple tackles, but he's going to eventually get a lot of hits. And then we have Jordan Mason, who's younger, but he doesn't seem like he's not running back one. He's more of a change of pace running back, not in the sense of, elusiveness, but once your starting running back get tired, you could put Mason in and he could gas the defense. So Love and Mason, that's why all I wanted this offseason was have Jordan Love, Jeremiah Love, and then have
I keep
Jordan
wanting to call him
Mason.
Jordan Love too. So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering why there's only 3 of us on tonight and our captain's not with us, he's got some family stuff going on and his wife has birthday tomorrow. So he's keeping the peace at home and taking care of business on the personal side. And if you are joining us and you have not subscribed to the Let's Skol channel, please do so. We appreciate it. Give us a like. We thank you for watching us and commenting. Try to get to your comments as much as possible to integrate you into the show. And I'm doing my best, struggling in the role of Keith tonight. So, as free agency goes. And we lost some people. Thunderfoot went elsewhere. Ryan Wright signed with the Saints. 4 years, $14 million deal with $14 million deal with $8 million guaranteed. Did y'all see that one coming?
Punters are getting paid. Jeez.
It's a low key underrated position. Yeah, you can find a punter anywhere, especially if you go to Australia. Um, but it's pretty much if you think about the punter, like what elite punters are supposed to be doing, they changed the field. And what he did for us, there's a lot of times where we was at our own 20 and he booted the ball so far that we put the opponent in their own 20. So, like, if you could do that and then you have an elite defense on top of that, you basically control the game and you don't have to ask a lot from your offense. So he deserved it. I remember he was good for us his rookie year. He had a down year his sophomore year, and then he bounced back last year. So
I thought he was pretty freaking good last year, man. I'm not gonna lie. This one makes me sad, dude. He was coughing, kicking a little bit. He was booming the ball. I miss Thunderfoot. I tell you what, man. And low key, not even low key. The holder. I'm really worried, because his rookie year, when he took over the holding for who was our punter before him. And man, if I remember correctly, that was kind of an issue in the beginning of the season. We had some kicking problems in the beginning of the season when we made that transition. I want to do that to our kicker. I want to do that to our third-year kicker, who I think is going to be phenomenal in this league for a long time. So, yeah, I was really sad to see Thunderfoot go. All right. We debated this a lot. And old Speedy signed with the Raiders. 3 years, $35 million deal with 23 guaranteed. Is this more than what you expected him to get? 2-year, 23 deal. Would you have signed him back at that number, guys? Also in the chat, Speedy got that. Would you have signed Speedy back to the Vikings for that number? Jalen Naylor.
I like to quote my head coach. Jalen Naylor earned the right to be a free agent this year. He pretty much like what he has to do now is like he kind of balled out for us when Addison and Justin Jefferson was struggling. He kind of stepped up. We even seen it in when we went to the Falcons game. He had that nice catch. He almost had 2 nice catches, but the other ball JJ McCarthy threw, he had to basically do some amazing acrobatic stuff to catch that ball, which was behind him, but it would have been a nice catch. So we like to joke and say, yeah, he could be a wide receiver 2, but can he be a wide receiver 1? That is what he's probably banking on right now. He definitely is a wide receiver 3. He could fill in as wide receiver 2, but since he went to the Raiders, that gives him a chance to prove that he could be a wide receiver 1. And I think, what was it, 2 years or 3 years he signed?
He signed 3 years, but it's really a 2-year deal. It's 2 years guaranteed.
So pretty much he got 2 years to prove he could be a number 1 receiver, and then he could head back to the Raiders and negotiate to get an even bigger contract. So he's
Viking 74 says that it's because the Raiders have so much cap space, Cody, that they overpaid for him. Do you agree with that?
So it's funny. Someone said wide receiver 1s that make $30 million a year. Yeah, they make $30 to $35 million a year, right? The average annual value on Naylor is 11.5. He makes exactly almost a third of what wide receivers 1s make. So he's making wide receiver 3 money right now, right? I think you can replace wide receiver 3s. I'm not too big of keeping them around, right? If they do go out and they do perform like a wide receiver 3, in which Jalen Naylor did, he's going to get paid wide receiver 3 money. But I would like a cheaper wide receiver 3 and then just keep doing that the same over and over and over again, right? So, yeah, he got paid the third of what wide receiver ones, which would technically make him a wide receiver 3, I wouldn't have traded it because I think he would get value out of wide receiver 3 at less money.
Okay. So wide receiver 3 should kind of be that rotational door position, right? I mean, how much expectation should we have for wide receiver 3, right? I mean, that shouldn't be a core position. Ben Simmons, he finished the season here. He got a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. Oh, boy. And Javon Hargrave, he was released by the Vikings, and he signed with the Packers within hours. 2 years, $23 million deal, 13 guaranteed. And he threw some shade at Flores. Do you think that he went that route where I'm going to play the Vikings twice this year. I'm going to make them deal with me, or do you think that they were just the only ones calling?
I think he took the money, right? Because he's still getting paid from us, right? And then the 13 mil guaranteed does something. I think he took the money. He just like, yep, they're paying me the most. I'm going here. And it's sad to see Hargrave leave because he didn't do too bad. He didn't live up to expectations as the defense tackle we signed him for. But I would have loved to have him still in this room just because of how concerning the depth at defensive tackle is this year, especially at the 3 tech and 1 tech. So good for him. He claimed a bag as far as I'm going with it.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it is a little bittersweet for me because I was pretty high on him. I was happy about signing him. And, 2 games last year, he took the game over. There were 2 games. That first Chicago game, what do you have, like 2 sacks in that game or something? And unlike Jonathan Allen, Hargrave showed up on tape, man. And I ain't saying that just because I've got a jersey hanging in the closet. I ain't saying that. Shaq, you feeling any kind of way?
So I feel like the situation probably would have been different if we had cap space. I thought we would have kept both of them. But since, we didn't make the playoffs and our cap space is what it is, we had to make some cuts. And they felt like if you look at the drop off when we had Allen and Hargrave out and we rotated, Terry Ingram Dawkins and Levi Drake Rodriguez, it wasn't that much of a drop off. And to top it off, we had Jalen Redmond, who's outperforming both of them. So it's kind of like, well, do we really need y'all? So
sometimes you just need a body on the other end of that couch lifting it up, Shaq.
Yeah, but how much are you paying for that other body?
True that. Touche.
I would have loved to have kept every single player from our defense last year because we were a top 10 defense, right? I mean, that should be the realism going forward, but that's not realism, right? That's the nature of the beast. Your cap constraint, you got to cut, and then we're going to see what happens this year. See if the defense falls off or drops off out of that top 10. But that worrisome in that middle right now with the lack of depth at defensive tackle we have.
Yeah,
kind of makes.
So everybody, I'm gonna post the link. So if any of you want to jump on and give us your takes about Kyler Murray or anybody else that we signed or extended or re-signed this year, please feel free to join us and give us your take. We'll get a few minutes from you and then we'll move on. But here we go. And while that's marinating, I brought him up, so let's talk about it. This is kind of a surprise. Jonathan Allen signed with the Bengals. And here's the deal. He had that guaranteed money with us. We could have been paying him this year while he played for somebody else. But the Bengals the Bengals, who of course are just rife with money with Burrow and Chase and Higgins, they decided to sign him to a 2-year deal worth up to $28 million. And because of that, we are off the hook for $8 to $11 million of cap hit. We won't get that benefit till next year. But we got that. How's that make y'all feel? Feel like a GM-less Viking squad's even better than that.
Yeah. He's making top 20 defensive tackle pay right now per year, looking at it. So, yeah, go ahead. Take him all you want. I know that. I think it's because the Bengals defense is it's bad, right? It's a bad.
They need names.
Yeah,
they need names on that defense. They just lost their best defensive player. Right, they just lost their best defensive player to free agency, and like to get the Bengals fans to look forward to their defense, they just needed a name. Like they offense got all the names, but their defense is like, who's on the Bengals defense right now that you could like say you gotta watch out for him, and him. So
they're gonna be like this. 2 years ago, Jonathan Allen shut down the Detroit Lions defense. He did shit last year, but
he played really well against the Lions. So he's got that for him, and that's what we kind of needed to put them back in the basement where they can belong. I edited out that episode, by the way.
It's been a while since we've seen this face. What up, Tanya?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've been MIA the last couple of months. Anyhow, do you think KOC is going to develop Murray further? Do you think that, Kyler really is going to be better with our team as opposed to the team we had in Arizona?
You guys take this because I just don't want to be all negative Nelly tonight.
I think he kind of has to. I think he kind of has to fall in line because he's going to want to get paid and play for another team next year as a starter, right? So he's going to have to fall in line. If it's a bad year for him because he's not falling in line, he's not going to get paid, right? So I think he kind of has to do it. I think he kind of has to adjust to this system and follow what the system is.
Now, he's been playing a lot more than McCarthy. So do you think that they're going to ball it out and see who gets the QB1, or do you think Kyler will be the QB1?
I think Kyler Murray is the quarterback one because I don't see McCarthy taking that giant of a leap yet into that quarterback one spot. And if McCarthy does, good for him because Kyler Murray's only $1.3 million. You can either bench that guy and he's the backup, or you can cut him if he doesn't want to be benched and be like, all right, that's pennies on our salary cap right there at 1.3.
And then 2 more quarterback questions. Do you think Wentz is coming back? And then whatever happened to Max Brosmer, did they cut him completely or what's going
on? We can't cut Max Brosman yet because he haven't had enough reps in this offense. We don't know what we could get out of him. Pretty much, I think Brosman might end up probably being on our practice squad. We did kind of, they did kind of like what they saw from him. So I wouldn't mind Brosman staying on the team as long as he's constantly developing, and maybe he could be a long-term quarterback 2 or even QB3 for us. What was the other part of your question?
Carson Wentz. Do you think he'll come back?
So I kind of joked. I honestly said I wouldn't mind Carson Wentz coming back because as long as we have, JJ McCarthy, who's been in the office for a while, we got Kyler Murray, who's gonna have to learn the offense, and then Wentz kind of learned the offense last year, but he got hurt. So
right. Well, I understand that. I was just kind of wondering, like, will they actually bring him back, or like what's going to happen with all of that?
It would depend on the price, I think, honestly. If we have the cap space, I'm pretty sure KOC wouldn't mind bringing him in to be a QB3 or 2. Pretty much, I feel like he might be QB3. They'll have JJ McCarthy be QB2. And basically, the quarterback room would be basically KOC would want JJ McCarthy to learn from Wentz and Kyler Murray as much as possible because JJ McCarthy's job is on the line.
Yes, it is.
He's not being forced to start this year, but right now
his job is on
he
the
needs
line,
to learn
and
as much.
Kevin's job might be on the line too. So everybody has to do well. Yeah. All right.
Hey, Steve, you were having some really bad feedback on your mic.
Is it bad? Is it still bad?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing what I feel about Kyler Murray is you have to let a guy like that play his game. He's a scrambler. He's a runner. He can throw the ball. Now, if he's going to, like I said, I watched him many times. Like the last game we had against him, now this was I don't know how many years ago it was, he played well. This boy can run. I mean, if your offensive line, I don't know how well it is now, what you guys lost, whatever. But if he's small. See, like a friend of mine here, he's a 49ers fan. He hated when the Niners will play the Cardinals, which they had to twice a year. He goes, I hate playing against Murray because he's small. He was hard to get a hold of and whatever. The thing is, at the time, it seemed like, I don't know if it was Murray that did it, but somehow it was like his game was taken away from him. The boy can play. The only thing is, you got Minnesota, like I said, I'm going to be real here. They got talent on that team. There's no one can deny that. But is this like with Murray, if him scrambling all the time, getting to 10 yards, first down or whatever, and are you going to have certain guys on the offense like JJ who's going to get pissed off, selfish because he ain't getting passes, he's not getting the ball? But the thing is, JJ, this is a team game. If Murray can run the ball and get you guys down the field and you get a few passes here and there, whatever, be happy. It can't be a selfish. I mean, look at us. We lost a lot this year in free agency. And I told almost every Packer fan when Ed Policy became the CEO, president of the Packers, he was going to be like his father, Carmen Policy, when he was with the 49ers. He was going to make significant changes. And look at all what we lost. We lost a lot of guys. A lot. Am I worried about it? Nope. The stuff has to be filled.
What's good about Kyler Murray, right? And then this JJ McCarthy kind of dynamic. You're kind of, if you're KOC, when you draft a quarterback, you know what that quarterback's traits are, so you have to adapt your offense to that quarterback. So if KOC wants to adapt his offense to his starting quarterback, that's the only way to be successful.
Well, the thing is with KOC and without them having a legit general manager yet, they should know who Kyler Murray is.
Oh, they do.
They should know his gameplay, his game style. And the thing is, don't even bring him sign him to a 1-year deal. Now, what was this? Was this just to light a fire under McCarthy's ass?
No,
like, hey, we're not pissing around, whatever. Because now I agree with the Weeknd over there. The one wearing Moss's jersey. I call him the Weeknd. He looks like the R&B singer. I agree with him.
He's one of my favorite contemporary artists. Slow down.
Well, hey, the Weeknd's excellent. The Weeknd is, I won't down him. He's a hell of an artist. But I agree with what Skol said, or whatever his name is, Shaq. He said that right now your guys' QB room could be the best guy to spin because now you have a guy who has played. Murray has played in the season. Now, who knows? Minnesota's not Arizona. And I can't say Arizona actually had the talent that Minnesota has there. So it's hard to be seen. It's hard to say what's going to happen.
The North just got more challenging too. Just the way that things turned around.
Yeah.
It'll be a very difficult challenge.
So let's end it on that nice positive note from Steve. I want to thank you two for joining us. Stay with us. Stay in the comments. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Tanya and Steve coming in, bringing in a little more insight and point of view about Kyler Murray. Very interesting. Steve is probably a lot more optimistic about Kyler Murray with our team than I am. That's saying something.
He's I don't know, might be a little worried. I don't know. Steve, tell us if Kyler Murray hits his 2022 ceiling, like he did with the Cardinals, how worried would the Packers fans be in general? If you can answer that in the chat for us.
Yeah.
And you
Interesting
think about
question.
it, I think that's when they first got DeAndre Hopkins, correct?
Mm-hmm.
2022. And that connection between Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins was low-key unstoppable. That's when DeAndre Hopkins had, I believe, the catch of the year when he caught the ball over 3 defenders. I think it was against the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. But pretty much, if you give Kyler Murray the weapons, he does have the accuracy. He can extend the plays, and he will give the receivers a chance to make a spectacular catch. And if there's a free blitzer or rusher, he will make them miss. I was just watching Chase Daniels break down some of his plays. It was Jared Rice rookie year. You know, Jared Rice, I don't know who that was, but on the Rams, Jared Rice had pushed the left tackle back into Kyler Murray's lap, and then he tried to sack Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray avoided him, was still looking downfield, started to run a little bit. Jared Rice tried to sack him again. Kyler Murray avoided him a second time, and then threw the ball and threw I believe it was either a deep catch or it was either a touchdown.
It was a
Kyler
touchdown.
Murray has the talent. We just gotta make it more consistent and kind of tame his brain in a way to speak. Pretty much keep him calm and keep the offense simple enough so he could showcase his best talents and avoid all the mistakes, which is what KOC's job is going to be, which is what you want to do with any quarterback you have on your offense.
Hey, Cody.
What's up?
You got any updates on Jonathan Grenard? What's going on?
Oh, he's gone. He's kicking down the door. He's leaving.
Where's he most likely to go?
I think he definitely goes to Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is in a need for an edge rusher right now by losing Jalen Phillips. And they're thinking about, who can we pay now for this defense? We want to try to keep it together. They got to supplement some sort of talent that matches Jalen Phillips. And watching Crosby go for 2 firsts and then getting denied because of the physical, and then watching Trey Henderson go for what he went for, Jonathan Greenard's trade value went up, right? So I think Minnesota has a trade candidate that can take away our cap, release some cap room for us, and also give a team like the Eagles, unfortunately, an edge rusher. And I think the Eagles are the perfect partner for Jonathan Greenard in a trade for us.
Okay, so Shaq, if we were to trade with the Eagles, I'm not asking you what you want to get for Grenard. What do you think will get? Shaq, you frozen?
Yeah, he's froze.
Cody, I'll ask you then. Not what you want to get from Grenard. What do you think we'll get for Grenard?
I think what we think we'll get from Grenard is going to be a 2nd-round pick. I think a 2nd-round pick and then a day 3 pick, like a 4th round or a 5th-round pick, right? I think he's worth, no matter what, a 2nd-round pick. He could possibly now, watching all these edge rushers go, be worth a back-end 1st-round pick. But definitely he's worth a 2nd round.
Eagles got what pick are they in the draft this year? Are they like 22nd or 23rd?
Eagles, 22nd or 23rd, the back end of that 1st round, right? So
I know having a 27 first would sound a lot more exciting, but we got a lot of stuff we got to fix on this team this year. Let's see here. Pardon me. So, Cody, we've only signed 1 free agent so far this year. And I got to pull that back up. This is one of those Keith specials James Pierre from the Steelers. He's a cornerback, 6'2", 188. It's not a big deal that we signed him to. It's, what was it, like
$4.5
$4 million a year or something?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Isaiah Rodgers last year. It's like, hey, so he plays on the outside. He's smart. He's physical, dependable. He excels in coverage, contributes in run support and special teams. And one of the notes that Keith left here was he's got Flores' familiarity because Flores was up there for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got our new DB coach is Gerald Alexander, who came over from Pittsburgh. So there's all that. He's his guy. He's his guy. How do you think he'll fit in?
So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say this right off the bat. To start the year last year, we entered the season with 3 cornerbacks on the active roster. 3, right? They were Byron Murphy, Isaiah Rodgers, Jeff Okudah. Right, that was a 3. So when we had a top what top 5 defense like that? Top 5 defense, right? So when you have a top 5 defense and a player leaves, you kind of want to fill in that role of that player leaving to the same talent or better. Brother, we got better than Jeff Okudah at the cornerback 3. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm happy with it, right? And
I get chills running up and down my spine every time you say his name.
And it's funny.
Don't say his name 3 times in a row because he might appear in.
Oh no, we're not going to do that. But it's funny. People are like, well, he's only played 5 games. Yeah, in those 5 games, he was better than said player at that cornerback 3, right? So
yeah.
I think it's a good deal. I think you got him in for cheap, and you got a guy that might progress into something else as a corner because of the way he showed flashes in those 5 games, and you're getting better at that cornerback 3.
Yeah. Shaq, we were just talking about James Pierre, the one free agent we signed away from Pittsburgh. He going to cost us a comp pick next year?
Hopefully not. I don't think we signed to that much money to cost us a comp pick, but even if it costs us a comp pick, pretty much, we was only going to get a comp pick for, I believe, Naylor. All the other players we who left us, who got signed, they all been cut. So we was going to get a comp pick for them anyways. So the composition pick we got for Naylor will probably been like a 6th or 7th rounder, and I really don't care for a 6th or 7th comp pick. That's like punter or kicker territory. We do need a punter, but
just kind of looking at, I think we've still got Nudie on the roster. We still got Vaughn from last year on the roster. Is there any room for some of those guys to try to make their mark and get into the 53, or do you think we're going to start with 3 cornerbacks again, and it's going to be Murphy, Rodgers, and Pierre Perry? What's James? I'm just James. Pierre. Perrier.
French.
And let me just say this, y'all. Before you get on me about mispronouncing his name or if I talk bad about him, I have a superpower. So if I call that man Perrier water, it's with a purpose. All right. Oh, look at that. I missed this part. I'm sorry. He is also a special teams gunner.
He is.
Can never have enough of those. Kind of nice to have one that's not one of our 3rd round picks.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're in his 2nd year, we're not going to be able to use him as a gunner, so we do need to replace that.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have Kyler Murray, and catching passes from him could probably be Ty Felton. If that don't give you goosebumps, I don't know what does. I said I wasn't going to be a negative Nelly tonight. I said I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. So, just like what signing were you the most upset about the Vikings not getting? Was there one where you were just like, I gotta have them, and you were really hoping they would get, and they just couldn't land?
Mine was the safety from Kansas City, Brian Cook. I was pretty disappointed because we are weak at safety. And then hearing Harris Smith, I get it, Harris Smith retire. He could come back, right? But now we're sitting with we got Metellus back there, and was it Jackson?
Theo Jackson.
Yeah, Theo
Jackson
and
Jay Ward.
And Jay Ward, right? And to run a successful Brian Flores defense, they're always going to be in a cover 2 shell, like a high cover 2, and there's going to be a lot of strain on those two safeties. So you need a smart player back there, a player that is somewhat physical and knows where the ball is going to go. Without that, right, it's super weak to me, and I really needed someone to supplement just that safety position, even if it's just one player that can take that position and overload it in a way. But having Metellus back there worries me because he's normally down in that nickel area or down in the box, right? He's not playing that high safety role. We watched last year when he did play that high safety role, it didn't look good at points, right? It looked pretty bad. And then you're throwing Theo Jackson there, who had that one pretty short length good year, and then you assign him this money, and then we don't hear from him again, So it's like the safety position, losing Brian Cook, a star that's out there, it hurt because I need something over there. So I hope we draft it or we do pick up someone that can supplement that level of talent.
Cody?
Who's the best free agent left to sign? That's a good question. At safety, I don't think there's one. I mean, Shaq might have one, but he's kind of like changing his positions. So to me, I don't see a safety out there. I think you can get better talent through the draft at that safety position than you can do free agency right now. We pretty much missed out on the safeties.
Shaq, who did you regret us missing out on?
So I know it was a pipe dream because I was like, okay, yeah, we're probably not going to get Jeremiah Love, but we still could get an elite running back. I had him in fantasy football, and that was Kenneth Walker. I was like, you know what? Maybe Seattle didn't like to use him as a RB1 workhorse running back, but hell, maybe we can. And once I seen that he went to my homie team, shout out to you, Aaron. He went to the Chiefs, and I was like, well, the Chiefs is going to be hard to defeat. The only negative right now is they need Mahomes to come back from a torn ACL. And depending on how long that takes will depend on how good the Chiefs are this year. So Kenneth Walker, that's a free agent I really wanted us to sign because this free agency class, it wasn't really that many free agents that was like, oh, we need this. It's just more so it was a couple players here and there, but it's no all-star free agent that a team's willing to throw the bag at, or I was willing to give a bunch of money to. So
thank you very much, George. We appreciate you as always.
It was a good year to not have money.
Yes, Tanya, Walker is amazing. I was disappointed we didn't stand a shot at him either. Thank you again, George.
Were you disappointed more that we didn't hear anything about us offering him money, but we offered Travis Etienne money and he denied us because he wanted to go home? Like, is that a disappointment to y'all?
So I feel like it was probably KOC is looking at it as a complimentary back to Jordan Mason, because right now we have Mason, who's our power back, and in between the line, run defenders over, hard nose runner, get 4 or 5 yards, 4 forward, and then we have a change of pace back in Etienne, who couldn't line up as a receiver, and do some good route running and catch the ball out the backfield. So I feel like that's probably why KOC went more so towards Etienne over Kenneth Walker, because Etienne is more of a receiving back, which will replace Aaron Jones, who's low key a good receiving back for us.
Someone brought up that running back Travis Etienne in our little free agent section. I can't remember who that was. A good fit.
Who could it have been?
Who could it have been?
I will say this: my theory on it is two things. One, it's closer to home, and two, he probably was just like, well, if it's similar money from Minnesota versus New Orleans, I'm pretty sure that the state tax situation is a little better in New Orleans than it is in Minnesota. And he said, I'm going to keep more of my money. Ooh. And it's cold up there, you know, all that stuff. But hey, and guys, you know, we don't put our hand out or anything like that. George is nice enough to donate to us through a super chat. We appreciate it. If you ever find it within yourself to throw a little super chat donation to us, we appreciate it. We'll highlight you. And you know, it just goes towards keeping this thing going. And we like bringing this content to you every week. I don't think we've missed a week in over 2 years. 3 years if you include when we started on Facebook exclusively. But thank you very much, George.
Yeah, we've come a long way. And also, if you like to watch us every week, why not get a notification on your phone or your computer? Just click that notification bar right there and subscribe. You'll get it every single week. Mm-hmm. All right. Around Thursday, probably get it around 9 a.m. in the morning when we're going live, and then around 8:30 Central Time when we actually do go live. So make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as you'll see, the green name from Shack Pack 51, Shack Pack 51, he's a member. That helps out also. You can take a look at our levels of membership, and we thank you very much. So, guys, let's kind of get into a general free agency, like around the league. In your opinion, what's been the biggest signing so far?
Ooh. For me, I had to say Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's massive.
Because
do you think that puts him right back in the talks, Shaq?
Pretty much, because Mahomes did it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who the Chiefs missed on with their first round pick, and they had to replace him with Pacheco, and they even brought back Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt's not the same Kareem Hunt that they had when they first drafted him. So pretty much giving Mahomes a running back that can take over the game. So Mahomes will always have to do some Mahomes shit to win games. Puts them back in top 3 seed, worst case scenario for the Chiefs. So that was a big signing. Shout out to the Chiefs fans. Kenneth Walker's going to be good for y'all.
Yeah, Shaq stole mine, right? Even with Mahomes, you're always in the talks for Super Bowl, right? Now you just add that piece of probably the best running back he has had since Kareem Hunt's first year. You know, like
Kareem Hunt.
You overpowered that team, man. If I was Seattle after winning a Super Bowl, I got it. See, I was like, yeah, we got our third one or whatnot. You know, we're good. You know, they just gave the power back to Kansas City. But mine is not just one player. It's a whole side of a team. And it's the Las Vegas Raiders. What the Las Vegas Raiders did for their defense this year, and the blessing that they got from the Ravens, and allow them to keep Crosby, even though that might mess up their cap situation with all the guys they signed. I think they can make it work with Crosby, and I think Crosby might even make it work. And that defense instantly, in my opinion, becomes a top 5 defense after being a struggling defense last year.
Thank you, Sarah, and I echo your sentiment. We've got a Sarah sighting.
So we signed the Keebler Elf. This is going to age just as well as your hate for Sam Darnold, Sarah.
Thank you, OKC Vikes fan. Appreciate it very much. Look, I hope you're right, but until I see it, man, and I don't see it. I don't see it.
If anything, it's definitely going to be exciting football to watch. And not like last year where we had a quarterback throw for -7 yards passing, and like, how did we win that game? So it's going to be exciting. I think the offense will stay on the field a little bit longer than what they did last year.
I can only hope you're right.
Another sneaky.
So, guys, who's your best under the radar signing so far? Like your low key, ooh, that was interesting. He's going to help them out.
I'll say Trey Henderson to the Ravens. He basically saved on 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. Did you guys find it weird that? I mean, I don't know that time will tell if it was a smart move, but they did the sexy thing. They traded 2 picks for Crosby. Then they gave him a physical of a knee that everybody was aware of. He failed the physical, and they said, we're out. Oh, we're getting Hendrickson. We're saving our 2 picks. They'd had to pay Crosby too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it weird that they're catching as much flack as they are? Or do you feel like this is just bad business, them backing out of the deal like that with Crosby?
It's legal, but it's bad business. It's like pretty much
ethical.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if you go to a car dealership and then y'all agree on a price, and then you like, all right, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go drop off my car and then come back and pick up the car. And then they say, well, we can't do the same price as we did an hour ago. We're going to have to increase the price. It's not really ethical, but they can do it because they didn't sign no documentation. So it's a lesson to everybody out there. Unless you sign on the dotted line, agreements mean nothing, even in courts or whatever factor in life. Until you sign on that paper, you can say whatever you want. Y'all can agree to something, but there's nothing holding that. I don't know what word to say. Trust or basically binding. There's nothing binding you to that obligation.
Ain't nothing behind the handshake anymore, huh, Shaq?
Oh no, that's why you gotta have it documented.
Hey, Cody, before I let you get into this, I'm going to field this one real quick, and I'll be short. Viking 74 wants me to explain again why I'm not excited about Murray. Murray is a good football player, and he can be an exciting quarterback. I do not feel like Murray is a good fit in this system. As a matter of fact, I think he is the exact opposite of what we need in this system. He's mobile. He likes to run. He likes to make stuff up on the fly. He likes to extend plays, all of which KOC does not admire, want, or need in his offense. He's just not going to be a good fit. Like I said earlier tonight, Kirk Cousins let the cat out of the bag. You have to be able to do 5 or 6 reads in KOC's offense. All these long developing plays. Why are they long developing? Because you are going through a success. You're reading everybody. There's no 1-step, 3-step drop fire. You're taking in the whole thing, and I think that's going to be a problem for Murray. So that is why I'm not excited about Murray. I just don't think he's right under a more flexible offensive scheme that could use his talents and a coach that has shown the ability to do so, which KOC has not. I would be excited. I just don't think he's going to thrive in KOC's system unless KOC makes wholesale changes to how he runs his offense for him. Go ahead, Cody.
So I'm gonna rebound off of your Kyler Murray thing. I think the most low key underrated signing was Kyler Murray for $1.3 million. I think that was a huge surprise that the Cardinals were going to release him with their quarterback situation that they have right now. Why not just ride it out? And for us to get him at 1.3, arguably the best quarterback free agent on the market, right? And it's a surprise to me because of what the J.J. McCarthy situation was. Were you going to keep progressing him and developing him while he's playing on the field, having him use his offseason How long were you going to wait? Was it going to be a veteran quarterback that can sit behind him and watch him do it? I think getting Kyler Murray at $1.3 million is the biggest steal in NFL history.
So this one's for you too, and also I want to hear the opinion in the comments. Were you getting nervous today?
No.
Was the time making you go, uh-oh?
I say I was like 10% nervous, more so because like everybody in the media is like, well, Kyler Murray's going to the Vikings. It's a done deal. Everybody was saying it. But like I said earlier, it's not official until you sign those documents. We could get the agreement going. I like you, you like me. But until we sign it on the paper saying you're gonna play for us, it's not official. So I was only 10% worried.
Let's see if there's any fresh faces wanting to jump on with us for just a couple of minutes and talk to us about Kyler or anybody else that they want to talk about that we signed or we lost.
Do you guys think that they put a gaming clause in his contract?
What?
Signing him for 1.3, Shaq, I don't think they put any clauses in. They were just like, we got you for 1.3, man. You play well, that's great. You don't, we got a bench. Now, if they decide to give him the bag next year, they're going to be like, all right, look at here. This is what you're not going to do. Is there I'm waiting to see if anybody wants to join us. Was there any signing? Man, we should get Rinaldi in here with us for a couple minutes to tell us what he thinks. I'm sure he's disappointed that we signed Murray and not Cousins. I know David, and I know David, and I know David, and I know David's upset. Was there a head scratcher? Was there one of those signings somewhere where you were like, the hell are they thinking?
Yeah, mine was knowing now was Tavir Thomas. I mean, to me, that was a head scratcher. And I know it's for us again. Watching him on special teams last year and the amount of penalties he racked up was ridiculous. And then before that, we ended up signing James Pierre, who is also a gunner. So I thought for sure, all right, Thomas is out, Pierre's in that gunner role, right? A guy that is pretty good at being a gunner. But to have him resign, it's like, I thought we had him replaced. Maybe they see something in Thomas that they really want to use. I just hope I don't see another flag coming down on the field on a special teams play again. Or missing a tackle that goes for 60 yards on a kick return, and the Bears beat us by a field goal.
Shaq, I got to ask you, man. I got to ask you. So we got a gunner / corner in Perrier Water, and then we got a gunner / wide receiver in Ty Felton. Who's going to be less gunner and more position player?
That's a tough one, but I think it'll probably go towards Ty Felton being less of a gunner. Because if you think about the gunner's responsibilities, you would want somebody who could, run down the field fast and stay in his lane and tackle. Yes, Ty Felton did it last year, but I'm more inclined to have, somebody on the defensive side of the ball be a gunner because they're used to, staying in lanes and tackling a player versus having your offensive player do it. Plus, I feel like we need to stop using Ty Felton on kick return and get him to, start working on his receiving ability. This should be
Cody, he couldn't even beat out and obviously declined Adam Thielen last year to get on the field. Was that just because it was Adam Thielen and we brought the hometown boy back, so we're just going to put him out there no matter what? Or does Ty Felton just suck as bad as I think he does?
I think he had to deal with the offense and how he was learning it. especially the playbook. That's why, because the passes he got were their screens, right? So like those are easy. I don't have to move anywhere. My route is always like an S or Sierra or a Y jet. You know, that's all I gotta know. I just need to know that letter. I know that ball's coming to me on a screen, right? So, like, that I think it was dealing with the playbook. He wasn't learning the offense, and it makes sense for a wide receiver. You know, that's probably wide receiver 4, maybe a fringe 3 if he starts to learn that playbook. So I think that's why the reason he didn't beat out Thielen.
Skol, low. Viking Scholar says he's changed his stance on Kyler. Let's Skol. So now that he's a Viking, you like him, or?
Oh, it should be 100%, right? Because he's a Viking. He is your Minnesota.
I mean, he's a Viking. He's got to be.
You gotta root for the guy, right? If you don't root for him,
Yeah,
it's probably going to be bad. It's what we said last year for McCarthy too. Like, you know, like there's McCarthy had his haters out there, but you kind of still got to root for him because if you want him to do bad, the team is going to do bad, and we just saw what happened last year when he did bad.
all right, boys. As much as we love to revisit this, you know, that 2022 draft,
Oof.
I do believe that we now officially have none of those players on our team. One of the worst drafts in history, but 5 of the 10 players have signed contracts in the first week of free agency. Ed Ingram, 3 years, $37.5 million with the Texans. Jalen Naylor, 3 years, $35 million with the Raiders. Verdarian Lowe, 2 years, $9.5 million with the 49ers. Cody's favorite, Caleb Evans, 1 year with the Panthers, don't know how much yet. And then Osezi Atomuwo, 1 year with the Steelers, we don't know how much yet. What's this tell y'all? That this biggest bust of a draft, got a couple guys who got a little paid.
I mean, for me, Ed Ingram got paid like a starting guard. He was a starting guard for us. Jalen Naylor, he's getting paid like a wide receiver 3, so he's a wide receiver 3 where he's at. But Vidarian Lowe, 2 years, $9.5 million. That's pennies on the dollar right there. And without knowing the Caleb Evans and the Azizi Otonwo, I think those are vet minimum deals. The Ed Ingram, I get it. He was a top 10. He's getting paid like a top 10 right guard. He's also getting paid number 24th on all the guards, right? He's getting paid where he should be paid. He is a starting guard, but he was also a starting guard for us. I think if we would have kept Ingram for us, he'd be getting paid the same amount of money as he's getting paid now.
Shaq, what's your take on? Well, Ed didn't seem to be doing very well for us, but he moved on to the Texans and did pretty good for himself.
So I was a major advocate on keeping Ed Ingram because I wasn't as hard on Ed as most of the Vikings fan base was. It was just kind of like, you know, you have PFF saying he's 125th out of 125 guards in the league. So it's kind of like that on top of the bad plays, on top of our offensive line just playing bad overall. So we kind of scapegoated him. But it goes to show you that maybe a change of scenery and maybe if we could have changed the offensive line coach, we could have kept Ed Ingram for a cheaper deal, and he could have done what he did for the Texans with us. But it pretty much, I'm glad for Ed Ingram. He earned that contract, so that's my take. Scheme fit matters.
I tell you what, I actually had for one of my hot takes last year. One of my hot takes was Kwesi is actually not that bad at drafting. Our coaches just cannot develop young players at all at any level. They don't advance. They either come in ready and they play to that level for the entire time they're here, but guys never get better. Look at Ivan Pace, right? He came in at a level, he never got better. You'd have thought that he should have picked up on the game, right? Ed Ingram, he came in, didn't ever learn nothing. Donovan Jackson comes in last year, plays pretty good. He played pretty good after he got back from that hand injury. But I don't feel like we're bringing him along. I think he played to the level he came into the league at. So I don't buy into that whole we can develop. Did Jalen Redmond get better? He played pretty good last year. I think he just got more time this last year versus 2 years ago. I think he just demanded more time. He made people expendable. All I'm saying is developing young players is not our strong point. We need to get a lot better at it because we really need to hit on some players this year out of the draft. And I'll say that till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah. You pretty much preaching what Zoe, shout out to you, Zoe. It was talking about pretty much the players we drafted, B-Flow and KOC haven't really developed. They more so let our younger players go for more experienced players to run the scheme. So it's pretty much I feel like B-Flow and KOC has to do a better job of finding players in the draft that could fit their scheme better if they're not going to take the time to develop a player to fit their scheme. So to avoid having to develop a player, find a player that's already in the scheme you want and continue doing what he did in college versus trying to turn him into a player you want him to be. Because that's obviously y'all don't have the patience to do it, and it's taking away time, and we're not having this player start or look good until year 3. And by that time, we got to start looking at either paying him or find a replacement because he's not caught up to where you want him to be.
Skol, Maxwell. Well, let's hear what he has to say. Here comes a friend of the show, old T-Bass.
So,
Skol,
hey, guys. How's it going tonight, guys?
Good.
So, to expand on what you were just saying, Fish, about, our guys don't progress when they get to the team. And you're saying maybe the coach is so everybody's played sports in the past, right? I would think. Okay. So did you have a coach that was real easy going? And did you ever have a coach that was hard on you? That pissed you off, that challenged you? Who got more out of you? For me, it was the coach who was considered the asshole, the guy that rode your ass. And could that be a problem with the Vikings organization right now? All the kumbaya and, we got to make sure we say hi to and good morning to everyone in the hallways and that. Are they really pushing these guys to get better? Or is it, okay, I'm in the NFL and everything's great? I mean, really, that's one of them. From day one, take away KOC's play calling ability and all that I did not like the level of softness that he brought into the Vikings. I just don't think it translates well in football. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm an old man, but I just don't think that is something that equates to successful. Any thoughts?
Yeah. So, T-Bass, where do you fall on what happened today?
What's that?
Where do you fall on signing Kyler Murray?
I think it's a act of desperation in Kevin O'Connell's part and trying to save his job. I would much rather roll with JJ McCarthy, good or bad, and let's find out and we can move on, because this is just maybe delaying another year. I'm so sick of talking about the Vikings quarterbacks, JJ McCarthy. It's a complete team. And it's morphed into the last year and a half, 2 years that the only way the Vikings will be successful is if they have this all-star quarterback. And that's all people are focused on is the quarterback position. And frankly, I'm just kind of tired of it. So, I mean, that's the way I feel. It is what it is, but it's another quarterback, and I'm sick of hearing about the Vikings quarterback every day, every minute of every. That's what it is. So now we're gonna get force fed probably a crap load of Kyler Murray stuff. I don't know.
It's inevitable, sir. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Skol.
But what do you guys think? You think some of the development in the players is that part of the coaching style, not just the coaching staff, but way too easy on these guys?
I've made my opinion very clear, Cody. What do you got?
I mean, I can see it where you're coming from. You being a hard-nosed coach, right? I mean, we're going to argue this back and forth like we argued it with Mike Zimmer. Oh, he was too hard. The culture was bad. We suck, blah, blah, blah. And then we got KOC, and he takes us to the playoffs, first season in, 12 wins. Oh, we love the culture and when it's coming, and we like what he's doing. And then when we start losing, it's like, oh, KOC, he's too passive. He's too this. A coach is all determined on how people think of him is by wins, right? So a down year, we're going to hate KOC. An up year, if it happens next year, we're going to love KOC. It's kind of like the quarterback position.
Well, I'm not just saying we. Let's go back when we played sports, and I had the analogy, the tough guy, the guy who rode your ass, and the guy who was easy on you. And I bet you had more respect for the guy that rode your ass. So I think it's kind of a respect. They just don't. They probably grew up most of their sports life. Their best coaches were tough on them and got the best out of them. And now they got this guy that, everything is easy and great. And I really don't think they respect them.
Well, I'll give my stance to that. If I look at my top head coaches, none of them really present that hard on you type of mentality. You have Andy Reid. He's been a great coach for a long time. Do he really look like a hard ass? No, you got.
I don't know. There was that one game he got right into Travis Kelce's face and benched him. Took his helmet.
Besides that one game, more so he's joyful.
That's one thing we've seen. I mean,
and then you have Sean McVay. Sean McVay don't really seem like a hard ass. He seemed like he's a rah-rah, happy-go-lucky coach. You got Kyle Shanahan.
Well, I don't know them enough. I'm not a fan of those teams. I just like what I heard Chuck Foreman once say about Bud Grant. Bud Grant was never known to be, a guy that was going to yell at you and stuff. I mean, he didn't yell at his players and that, but they all respected him. And
there's a difference between yelling at players and holding them accountable.
Yeah. And Chuck Foreman said about Bud Grant, Bud Grant told you what you needed to hear, not what you wanted to hear. And he said that's missing on the Vikings now. It's like Bud Grant would tell you, you better learn how to make that catch or you're not going to be on the team, period. Not like, go get him next time, go get him next. He would come out and say, you have to catch that ball or you will not be on the team.
I kind of feel like KOC did that to McCarthy. He showed him what he needed to see, not what he wanted him to see with the Kyler Murray signing. He showed him, hey, this is the standard. You got to beat him out.
Right? All right, T-Bass. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Say in the comments. Talk to you soon. Guys, let's get on. Let's talk about comp picks.
comp pick.
So the comp picks have been officially announced for this draft. Second year in a row, the Vikings have received the top comp pick, and our comp pick is number 97. What's that, a late third round, maybe the first, fourth round pick?
This is the third round pick.
And we were in line for a fifth round pick, but good old Eric Wilson played us right out of it. But I'll tell you what, man, I'll take Eric Wilson's play last year and being able to re-sign him over a fifth round pick any day. What about you?
100%. It's basically you got a guy that already knows the defense, is good in the defense, and it's basically saying, hey, yeah, we drafted a guy in the fifth round, and it's our inside linebacker, a position of need if he wasn't here. So terrific pickup, and for the price that we got him at too. That was going to be one of my low key like signings. Like we got him at what I thought he did enough to get a bag, right? So I'm happy for it.
Yeah. So that gives us four. It's official. 4 picks in the top 100. Shaq, what you think we're going to do with that?
Pretty much, we're going to try to build this defense up. As you can see, we got rid of 2 defensive tackles, and we didn't replace them yet in free agency. We probably going to go offensive line more so, see if we can get a center to compete with Brandel. And then I'll say start looking at that secondary, because right now Harrison Smith is up there in age. Yes, he might come back, but even when he come back, safety is still staring at us in the face as a need. So it's looking like we're going a lot of defense, and I say only two positions right now of need on offense will probably be center and a running back. And I can't say I really consider running back a need, because I don't think the Vikings going to really see having to take a running back high unless, we get Love to fall to us, which I don't think they think he's going to fall. So that's probably why they brought Aaron Jones back.
Cody, is there anybody in particular you think we could get at 97 who could make a difference?
Yeah, I think there's a guy you can get at 97. I for me, this is going to be my prophecy, my prediction. I think all 4 top 100 picks go to the defense. I think Minnesota, knowing about the center thing, what the offensive line did last year, they kind of brought in Kyler Murray to alleviate that a little bit, right? So I think now the focus is going to be on what was lost. So we're basically running the same offense back. What was lost last year on that terrific defense. They got to fill holes, safety, defensive line, maybe a linebacker, right? An edge might have to be something, because now you're going to lose Greenard. Now you got to have some sort of depth back there, right? And you want to rotate your pass rushers sometimes, all right, just to go get that pressure, fresh legs, more speed, a lot faster. So I'm excited. I think they can do some major damage in this draft, especially on the defensive side.
Okay.
It's about time we get beef flow, more toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him out of that 4-banger Mustang. All right, fellas. A little longer than what we're used to, but excuse me just a second. It's time for Around the Gjallarhorn. Who's ready?
I got mine because I mentioned it earlier, right? Someone in the comments said Boyd about the Kyler Murray thing. He wasn't expecting it today. He was expecting it a little later. I think I knew it was going to be Kyler Murray when I heard the news of him being released. I think the Minnesota Vikings knew Kyler Murray way before they knew he was going to be released.
You buying that, Shaq?
I'm buying it because pretty much it boils down to the contract. It's not even about Kyler Murray. It's about getting a veteran quarterback for $1 million. Like, he doesn't like, if we could have got Daniel Jones for $1 million, we would probably sign him. Pretty much any quarterback that's a veteran right now, we would probably sign for that $1 million contract just to prove it. And so that's better than having the quarterback play on another team and then watching him to see if he develops. You could bring him in on a 1 year, $1 million contract deal to prove that he deserves to be paid like a top quarterback. So I'm pretty sure it was like common sense. It's kind of like Sam Donald when we signed him, but for even less money.
And I find it interesting too to know what Polymarket did when they found out about Kyler Murray being released. Like, we shot to like 80. It was like it went to 85%. He's going to Minnesota. Every commentator, every analyst was like, "Yeah, he's going to Minnesota. It's likely he signs to Minnesota." And it's just, well, like, likely then he had to have had some sort of conversations before that release, right? And the way that they did not mention other quarterbacks, i.e., the Aaron Rodgers or Tua Tagovailoa, right? Like, even I think the Falcons knew they were getting Tua right off the rip, like just like we knew we were getting Kyler Murray. So it's interesting to see that. Why didn't we bring none of these free agent quarterbacks? Like 6 of them went off the board and during the tampering period. Like, what are we doing? We need a quarterback. Like, are we doing anything? And then boom, Kyler Murray, and it was like an instant. Analysts know he's expected to be released, and he's going to be flying out to Minnesota this night, the night he gets released. Like,
it's probably because a month ago he changed his gamer tag to Kyler Skol.
Yeah.
Shaq, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Shit. So pretty much my Gjallarhorn is that signing for $1 million, it pretty much gave the Vikings freedom to go anywhere in the draft. With the cap space we have. So, like Cody brought up, we might not have to draft the center or make our offensive line as elite with Kyler Murray because he does give us that extended plays mobility to his game. So my Gjallarhorn is right now, we are a sleeper team to be the Vikings, to be the NFC first seed this year.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm going to agree. I'm buying all the way. I'm going to tell you why I'm buying. We played with 3 quarterbacks last year, or a half a game out, right? Of those 3 quarterbacks, we had one guy win a game by throwing -7 yards. We had a guy that could only play for 1 quarter that was there really, really good, and the rest of the 3 weren't that good. We had a quarterback out there throwing with a separated shoulder and just getting murdered to the wolves. I'm buying this. I am straight buying this. I think we are a contender, and I think a lot of analysts out there are deeming us contenders now. And when's the last time we heard that? When's the last time we heard that from a big media company? Hey, Minnesota could be contenders this year. So it's nice to get that feeling back to us.
You're going to have to work on me on that one, Shaq.
Don't worry, I'll come back to you in week 3.
You are going to have to work on me on that one because you and I are pretty far apart on that. But it is nice to hear you say it. And as a Vikings fan, I kind of put a little stock in what the media says about us. I was always frustrated when they were just dismissive of us. Even during the season, we'd be 5-0, and they'd be like, "Yeah, well, whatever. It's just the Vikings."
Yeah.
You know. So I would like to have that hype. I'd like to have people say, "Oh yeah, I think Vikings are going to win the division," and "Oh yeah, I think that all the stuff they can do leading into the season." I'd like to hear that again. I don't believe it.
I'm glad you brought that up, Fish, about the media part. Us Vikings fans, we need to stop listening to the national media because what they try to push out, the propaganda is they try to push out a certain amount of teams. And if you look at it, like I'm pretty sure they do like a Super Bowl favorites, or if they talk about who's your teams to go to the playoffs, it's usually going to be the same old teams over and over again. Dallas, Steelers, Packers. They don't really get into the nitty gritty of all 32 teams. That's why you get some surprise teams from the fandoms who know this team this year it could be different.
Can't help notice you didn't say Detroit, Shaq.
I mean, they might say Detroit, but
No.
It's just more so like they have their favorites, and it's easier to write a script for it. You know, the National Football League, if they talk about a certain amount of teams, but when it comes to us, it's like we're the stepchild of the NFL. Yeah, we do good, but then they're gonna stick to that narrative of we always choke or crumble when it matters most because it's easy to present that picture to the national media, and then the fan base is always gonna argue, well, we should have did this, that, and this. So I'll say, if you just go back and watch the film, don't listen to the media because they're gonna talk about all the bad stuff that happened with Kyler Murray, the Cardinals, and Viking fans probably gonna blow this out of proportion. Go back and watch all of Kyler Murray, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then go back and watch the good, the bad, the ugly with the Vikings, and then you can form your own good, bad, and ugly. That way, you can see. You won't be surprised if we do bad, or you won't be surprised if we in the NFC Championship game.
I'm just going to be surprised for exciting offensive football. The defense is really exciting last year. The offense made me want to rip my goddamn head off. You know, like I'm excited to see what Kyler Murray can bring to this offense. It could be an adage of something. It's definitely going to give it a spark. It's definitely going to be exciting.
You know, I'm so far down on him, but you know, it tickles me to think. Can you imagine the lead up storylines to the Super Bowl of the Vikings going to the Super Bowl with a $1.3 million starting quarterback?
It would almost be the thing to do in the NFL, like the new trend.
Could you just imagine that lead up, Shaq? That'd be great. That would be awesome.
I feel bad because then we'd be like, well, how much do we have to pay him?
Yeah.
What's that contract looking like?
Hey, the good thing about Kyler Murray only playing 10 games last year and JJ McCarthy playing only 10 games last year, it takes 20 games to get to the Super Bowl. Just saying.
Okay, guys. This Gjallarhorn is independent of us signing Kyler Murray. I had this Gjallarhorn before we signed Kyler Murray, okay? So it's not because of Kyler Murray that I'm coming up with this Gjallarhorn. With the developments and the way that we restructured TJ Hawkinson, where we basically chopped a year off of his contract, this year is it. He's a free agent after this year unless we do something different. You are going to see a renaissance year from TJ Hawkinson. You are going to see the best TJ Hawkinson we've ever seen on the football field. It's been another year for his knee to heal. He is now under the gun. This is a contract year. He is going to have to put up if he wants to think about his future, and he will go as long as his body allows him to. Be prepared to be impressed by TJ Hawkinson.
I'm going to buy it because I saw a rookie from Colorado State come to Arizona and just rip the roof off of that Phoenix, Arizona University stadium. Trey McBride had over 1,000 receiving yards. I get it. Trey McBride and Hawkinson's not Trey McBride. Trey McBride's 100 times better. But to get him into that 700-yard mark, that 600+ yard mark, yes, I think we're going to see a renaissance from old T.J. Hawkinson.
I'm buying that. Pretty much. If we all remember, when we first got T.J. Hawkinson before the knee injury, he was looking like damn near receiver one. Like the way him and Kirk Cousins instantly was getting connection, it was like, well, we won this trade. So it's pretty much, I just want to see TJ Hawkinson at least get back to 60 or 7% of that TJ Hawkinson we traded for. And that's pretty much all we need because we have other weapons and we're not going to need him to be a go-to target. We just need him to be a tertiary target. Somebody who could take pressure off of Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison, always having to get open against elite corners. So I'm buying.
And you know what else? You know why else he might be successful, Shaq? He's one of the few receivers we have that's big enough to where when he sticks his hand up that he's open, Kyler Murray will be able to see his hand over the lineman. The rest of the guys are going to have to jump and put their hand up for him to be able to see it.
Oh, also, you know what personnel package grouping that Kyle Murray is really, really good at?
13.
Tight end's going to eat.
All right.
Do we have a third tight end?
Yeah, we drafted him last year. You may not have heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh, he was hurt. My bad.
All right, fellas. Let's get into these purple prophecies where we make our predictions and show whether or not we know something. Who wants to lead off?
I hit one. I'm going to say it. I need to change these updated numbers. I hit it. Kyler Murray's a Minnesota Viking. All right. Now let's make another easier one here. Another easier. Actually, I'm going to go full. I'm going to say, like I said earlier, the Minnesota Vikings, all 4 top 100 picks will go to the defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Very likely. I would like to see a running back in that top 100, but very likely. Shaq?
I'm following Cody's suit. I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings will be hosting the NFC Championship game this year.
Ooh. Shaq feeling himself here.
So that's why we need y'all to donate so we can get some tickets to go to the NFC Championship game. Don't worry, we only need 3.
Yeah, somebody ain't going.
And we ain't losing this one.
Oh my gosh. Oh, took me right off my train of thought.
You know what's kind of crazy about that whole situation is the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl is definitely getting played in Los Angeles this year, right? The NFC Championship game, I think the Rams go to that NFC Championship game and it will be in Los Angeles because they will be the number 1 seed. So we got to figure out something to influence Keith not to go to those 2 games.
Iran was threatening to drone the West Coast, so he should probably stay home and get in his bunker. Okay. Jonathan Grenard will be a Minnesota Viking on week 1 of this season. We are not going to trade him.
Well, let's check the old Twitter page real quick because it is late at night and Minnesota likes to do things late at night. So let's figure. Hopefully nothing's happened. But that is pretty fire. That's pretty hot because I expect Grenard to be traded I think he's already made his case known. Maybe this Murray thing helps out and he stays because more is needed and not more money is needed, So maybe this Kyler Murray helps out. Like watching Darnold go, he's like, oh, they brought in somebody. Maybe I'll stay. Maybe this team is what it got now. More was needed.
All right. Let's see here. Don't double click. Dylan, yeah, we're live. And I'll tell you what, everybody, just a second. We're going to give it one more chance. If anybody wants to get on and share their piece, please get on and tell us what you got. And we'll see if somebody queues up. Let's give a little recap on this. 2025 recap. Cody was 4 for 44 at 9.09 with 2 in play, 9.09%. I was 5 for 43 for 11.62%. I still got 1 in play. Shaq was 8 for 43, 18.6%. He's got none still in play. Keith was 14 for 44, 31.81%. None still in play.
I'm 1 for 1 now, by the way, for the new 2026 season. I'm 100%.
Nice.
Not bad.
Okay.
I don't, Rob, did you listen to the whole podcast at all? Like, I don't get where I'm a homer. I'm genuinely excited for Kyler Murray. I'm really excited for Kyler Murray on this game.
I'm amazed that my chair is being picked up on this microphone. I need to do something about this microphone.
Oh, very good.
All right, guys. Well, nobody else is going to join us, so let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts. Take it away, Shaq.
So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into another episode of the Let's Go podcast. Shout out to you, Keith. Keep handling your family business. Happy birthday to your wife. If you're feeling generous, you can leave a donation on the YouTube side by clicking the $sign. Or you can send money donations to the Cash App at $ Let's Go. We greatly appreciate everything. You don't have to send anything. And if you can't, you could also leave a like. That also help us grow so we can get to further Vikings fans out there who watch the YouTube or even on Facebook. It helps grow by increasing the algorithm. You can also click the bell notification like Cody was talking about. So whenever we do go live, it will notify your phone or whatever device you're on saying Let's Go is live. And you can tune in and chat with us. And next week, we'll be talking NFL draft. We'll be talking running back. So make sure you guys are ready.
Hey.
No, now, normally I would keep going, but hold on just a second. This guy. Oh, no. Sorry, George. So I'm going to go on. For Vikings fans, by Vikings fans, thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was a good comment section. I hope I didn't screw up too bad trying to take Keith's place. Happy birthday, Mrs. Hanson. Keith, enjoy your time with your family and your wife. Do something special. Thank you, everybody. Some good comments and good communication. People that joined us and asked questions and took their time to talk to us about everything that's going on in Skol country right now. Keep your eye out for another episode of Fishing for Prospects with me and Unc and Robbie. Robbie had something he had to handle today, so we're going to try to get that thing done tomorrow. Also, I got to get a hold of my boy Zoe. I promised him during the Skol and Chill on Saturday that if we signed Kyler Murray, that I would bring him on and we would do a little rant session together. And so we're going to get together and do that. As always, I thank you very much. Let's go. Take us home, Cody.
All right. Check it out. Y'all listen to us. We listen to you. All right. We can take that time out of our day to come listen to you because you take your time out of your night to listen to us. We're sitting at 10:51 right now. It's a little late. Everyone's got work to do, but you still managed to get on this show. We were super excited about the numbers that we saw viewing this show tonight. So thank you all for that. And it always helps out, like Shaq said, what Fish said, what we've been saying all night. Hit that like button, hit that notification, hit the subscribe. All right, listen to us more often. All right, we got some wild takes, we got some smart takes, and we got some dumb takes. But we're Minnesota Vikings fans. That's what we do, right? We hate our quarterbacks. We're 50-50 on the coach. End of the day, though, we are Vikings fans. We got to root on for Kyler Murray as our starting quarterback this year, because if he fails, you're going to see again what happened last year. This team will fail. Other than that, let's go.
Let's go. Thank you again, George. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, OKC fans, for the donations. And until next week, let's go.
Let's go! For Viking fans, Minnesota Vikings.